What do you expect from Gypsy? Because in earlier hearings, and we'll listen to it in a minute, she's not going to throw Martin MacNiell under the bus. It's going to be, we didn't really think about a future before Michelle's death, right, Jeff?
That's right. I mean, Mike, the thing about it is this. Merely admitting the affair gives sort of a motive to begin with. And then there's the interesting thing of, did she make statements to her roommates that would seem to indicate that she wanted the wife dead? So those are the two things. The affair itself, that's good for the state because it provides a motive. And then if he can get anything close to these statements that she may have made to the roommates, which I doubt she'll admit, they've got something to work with.
Yeah, we just heard that, and we'll talk about that as well, that, yeah, this was not just some fling. You wanted Michelle out of the way. You wanted to cut her brake lines. And some
That's
roommate,
big if they get it
yeah,
in, right?
some
That's
roommate
big.
allegedly had to tell her she's got kids. The kids are going to be in the car. And she shoots back, oh, they'll be all right. They're sitting in car seats. Wow, all of that's coming up. Well, let's listen, though, yesterday, as it was just sad to watch, Rachel MacNiell, the oldest daughter of Michelle and Martin, gets on the stand, and she talks about Gypsy. She can barely even utter her name. So let's watch a little bit of that, Jeff, and we'll get your comments coming out.
You describe Gypsy moving in as the nanny.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see her function as the nanny?
As a nanny?
Yes.
She didn't do anything that I'd seen related to the children. I mean,
What did you expect to see?
I expected her to be focused on the children.
Okay.
I expected her to do things related to that, to cook or clean or take care of the children.
And what did you see her doing?
My dad was cooking. She was sitting there staring at my dad, things like that. I mean, the children were taking care of themselves, or Ada was left alone. She's running down the sidewalk. I mean, there was nobody looking after the children. It was very, very different than it was when my mother was there. I mean, Ada wasn't allowed to just ride her bike down the sidewalk by herself. Nobody's looking.
All right, again, Jeff, great for the state when you get, because it paints the picture of Martin MacNiell obsessed. Get the wife out of the way, get Gypsy in the house, and he's got, his new life on the way, right?
Possible. I mean, the human drama in a courtroom, when you have the children of a defendant basically testifying against that defendant, is great. Will it be enough to overcome the lack of scientific evidence, i.e. the cause of death? I don't know. But dramatic testimony. Mike, think about a couple cases in the past. There's one with Rabbi Newlander that Court TV covered where the son did not testify against the father, the rabbi, in the first trial, and it was a mistrial. He testified against the father in the second trial. He was convicted. And then think about Matt Sandusky out in Bellefonte, PA, who was called perhaps as a rebuttal witness, and that kept Jerry Sandusky off the stand. Great human drama when a child testifies against a parent.
And we're watching it. We just saw the video there. Martin MacNiell's eyes were shifty. He couldn't even look at Rachel. And Rachel, heartbreaking testimony, especially early on, Jeff, when she says, growing up, my dad was my best friend. Now she believes dad murdered mom.
Right. Now, the other side of it, Mike, is, can the defense say, listen, you're upset with dad because he cheated on mom, and so you think he's a horrible, terrible scum, but does that mean he murdered the mom? So there is a way for the defense to say, we know you don't like him. We know that's why you're testifying against him, because you think he was a scum, but doesn't make him a murderer.
Okay, we're going to continue our coverage. Back with us, our great criminal defense attorney, Jeff Golden. We're waiting for Gypsy to take the stand. Okay, we can expect that again, right? That's what she's going to say. That there was no future plan when Michelle was alive.
Right, but that's baloney. I mean, again, whether or not this overcomes the lack of a cause of death, who knows? But it's baloney, and it's going to sound like baloney because, look, he moved her in within weeks after the death. He was talking about being single. All these things indicate that she was fundamental to him, not just something on the side that just happened to be there. Otherwise, he'd be grieving about his wife, and he wouldn't be thinking about her at all. So it belies the truth. Clearly, she was important to him. Whether she was the motive or the cause, who knows? But it's not believable that she was just somebody on the side, because otherwise he'd be grieving.
And let's get back to something we talked about a couple of moments ago. Let's illuminate it further. The roommates. Gypsy's roommate saying she was talking about getting Michelle out of the way, cutting the brake lines. And they had to tell her, Jillian, Gypsy, there could be kids in the car here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, shades of Jodi Arias. I mean, you know, that stuff makes you crazy. Who knows? Maybe she put all this in the mind of Dr. MacNiell. Maybe it was all her idea. Who knows? But when she gets up on the stand, there'll be a test. I don't know if it's going to be anywhere near as dramatic as the testimony of the daughter, Rachel, was yesterday. But certainly we're all waiting for it because she is a linchpin here. If she was believable that this was not a serious affair and that she was merely, you know, something on the side, maybe that would matter. Again, all this comes in opposition to the fact that there's a great lack in the state's case as to whether they can prove cause of death. So this is what the state has. It has to put on all this circumstantial evidence. That's all the state has.
All right. Again, the mistress, Gypsy Willis, is set to take the stand any moment. We're going to have it for you. That courtroom is packed. Basically, from what it sounds like, it's Gypsy mania there in the courtroom in Utah. We'll have it for you. Jeff, hang tight.